YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to Pack to Glory episode number 25 here on our first owner only Road to Glory series. We are going to get things kicked off today with the UCL pack here. I'm going to get 3 UCL players. We get a rare player, but it's in Poulsen, and he's not really going to help our side out too much. Our side is far better than the quality of cards that we have on offer in this pack. So we're just going to store all those into the club. We don't need them. We don't want them, but they may be useful for future SBCs because, of course, this series is first owner only. We cannot buy anyone off of the market, so they could come in handy. You never know. But nonetheless, today's episode is going to be all about how to make profit via the online draft. Now, we've had a draft token sitting here for quite some time. Of course, it costs 15,000 coins to enter the draft, and we only have $5,000 right now because we just invested a whole bunch in the last episode into Di Maria. So, one really important thing about making money through the draft is that the more successful you are in the draft from playing 4 games and winning, that's how you're going to make the major part of your coins back in general. There's no real secret to that. So you need to pick a formation that you're comfortable with, that you can see a game out and win. 4-4-2 for me is a really good formation, but it's super important that you pick the right players in this formation. You're going to pick up Dalglish with a shadow on him, which will give him a nice little pace boost, but we don't really need to improve his defending very much. This Dalglish card is probably one of the top tier best cards in the game at this point in time until they release some better icons. So we'll definitely be taking him. His drag back and turning is really good. Now, a pro tip when doing your draft, do your keeper early. And I've said this before, I'm going to take Ter Stegen here, because he's the best card amongst the bunch, and then we'll do the next goalkeeper pick. And because we already have Ter Stegen, we're going to steer clear of that league, so we won't take Neto, and then we'll take Lloris as a backup Premier League option, because he'll give us really good French links, and that'll be a good backup card. So now when we get to our defense, then we know a little bit more clearly of who we should be looking for, and it just guides our judgments a little bit more specifically. So for instance, Marquinhos. Now Marquinhos is not going to get a link to Ter Stegen or to Lloris, but he is Brazilian, and there is a potential to get him into the side. And out of the pick of the bunch here, I can't really turn him down. So we'll take him, but he might end up being used on our bench. So this next one will be really easy to pick because we'll know exactly who we can and cannot take. So Longley will get links to a perfect link into Ter Stegen. I haven't actually had the chance to use him yet, and you may be screaming right now saying, how could you turn down Van Dijk? He is the best centre-back in the game this year, and I would not disagree with you. Van Dijk is exceptional, and unless you're using a high-end icon, you can't really pass Van Dijk. However, Longley will get perfect links there, and also he's been a war whenever I play against him, and I've been wanting to use him, and that's one of the best parts about the draft, is that you actually get to use players that you haven't had the chance to use, and I haven't used him once all year long. So I'm going to take him in this draft, and I apologise if you really wanted me to use Van Dijk there, because I do agree he's probably the best centre-back in the game, and just for this episode here, can you please give me one free pass, because I'm going to take him. Alright, so moving on, we need to pick our next defender. It is likely that we are going to see more Premier League players pop, and this Pereira card is a fantastic card. Kappa is also good, so is Cancelo, and Trent is a pretty handy one. I'm going to take Ricardo Pereira in the hope and belief that we probably are going to see a few more Premier League cards. Next up at right mid, we'll build our way up. We'll take the Premier League player here, not too much of a difference, a little bit better shooting, and I don't think this will matter too much. I'd say they'll end up getting taken out before the draft starts. Through to the centre of the park, I would avoid this Pjanic card at all costs. He's pretty garbage. This Canales card is quite good. However, the dribbling stats are a little bit low. And it's really important, if you are going to play the 4-4-2, you need someone who can defend. This Modric has high work rates, and he also has a shadow on him to boost his defending. And that's the exact type of card that you're going to want in the centre of the park. So we are going to take him, and he'll slot in there quite nicely. Moving over to centre mid, we will avoid this Parejo card. I know it's good for chemistry, but this card, I do not like this card at all. Paulinho will get a soft link into our centre-back. He's a pretty well-rounded card, good defensive stats, good all-round. However, I'm going to take Herrera here just for chemistry purposes, because there isn't too much of a difference between them. And he has the engine chem on him, which will boost some of those key stats. His defensive stats are pretty good, high, So he's going to get up and down in the 4-star weak foot. If we don't get anyone better, he'll be an okay card to start at the centre of the park. We'll have a look now up to the striker. We're going to take Son with the 5-star weak foot. That means that we will have 2 players with 5-star weak foots up top, and we'll just switch them around real quickly to get a little bit of a chemistry boost there. Over to the left wing now, and bit of a tough one here. We might take a Iwobi just because of his former Arsenal past. I'm a big Arsenal fan, so I'm going to take Iwobi, although I don't see him making it into the side. And then to finish off here, I'm tossing up between Genier and Robertson. Robertson's an exceptional card, and if I had Van Dijk, he would get a perfect link, and I'm sure you're still seething from me not taking him earlier. Alright, so take Jordi Alba here. I think that's a pretty clear pick. It'll get a perfect link into Longley, so we'll take him, we'll bring him in, and then switch these two. Nope, not those two, these two. Thank you, game. And a little bit better chemistry there. Next up, we have our next centre-back pick. Now, Sergio Ramos will get... He'd just be the perfect pick here, wouldn't he? Take him, bring him into centre-back. It's perfectly into Modric, and we have a pretty good side coming together with some massive players on the bench as well. This one here, a bit of a dead pick. We'll take the 80 rated midfielder from La Liga just because he will get a perfect link in. Oh, sorry, 2 soft links. I jumped the gun there and thought he was Atletico. I don't know why, but nonetheless, that does improve chem. Okay. Now, Goretzka could be the man to bring in off the bench just due to his well-rounded card, and it's a nice card to take. Bernardo. We don't have any Bernard, I should say. We don't have any Brazilians in the side right now. I'm getting a lot of shadow chem styles as well. I think we'll take Goretzka from the bench because if we don't get a better centre mid, I'll bring him into the park. So we will take him just because he's got some pretty solid defensive stats, and with his shadow, he'll get a nice boost there. So we'll take him and pop him on the bench. He might be coming in as a super sub for the side. God, that's a hard pick. That's really hard because Mane, if we want to go down that Premier League route, he'll get a perfect link into Robertson, who could then go up into Son, and he is a really good card. Neymar, for me, is probably one of the best strikers in the game. That weak foot is really good. He's just got such good pace and dribbling. I'm a little bit torn here as to who to take because we have quite a weak left-hand side right now, and we could bring Robertson back in and perfect link them, and then go to Son. Because we have 2 5-star weak foots up top already, and they're quite good. I might take Mane here, just for chemistry purposes, and hopefully we don't regret that one later. We'll see how we go. That was kind of what I was hoping for, that we would then get Bale, because then we can do that and then move these 2 around, and we're getting a lot closer to having that end side we want. Just need now, I mean, I could already put in Alba here and play him on 7 chem with the right manager who'll get a good boost, so we'll keep pressing on. We've got a well-balanced side, a side that's going to be able to defend and attack, which I'm really happy about. So it has come together quite nicely in the end, and we'll take Sane there just for rating. I don't think any of those players are going to matter too much. Next up, again, we'll just take rating. I don't see any of these guys making a major difference to the side. The next pick, hopefully we can get someone that can contribute a little bit more. We haven't seen a silver pick yet either, so things are looking quite rough for us at the moment. And I'll take rating again. This one's probably going to be our silver pick. No, it is not. And I will definitely be taking Hazard here because we don't really have a super sub at this point in time. And I think he could be the right man for the job. Although Koke could be a good shout for the centre of the park. But no, we'll take Hazard. I think we need some fresh legs to come in and be a bit of a game changer for us. So we'll pop Hazard in there, and then our final pick coming in is Luis Figo. Hello. Okay. We will take him. We've actually, in all of our draft wins so far, and we are back-to-back wins at the moment, so we're going for 3 from 3 here. Figo has started, and Figo has helped us out massively, and been a pretty solid player for the side. So I'm happy to see him back. I've got some good options on the bench here. If we wanted to work things around, fortunately, there's not really any way I could change up our midfield too much. So it looks like it's pretty much going to be it. So we have 100 chemistry. Son is let down with 6, which means he'll just get a small boost having the 100 chem side. But that looks like a pretty solid team, and with our ability to be able to bring in Goretzka off the bench and Figo and Hazard, Marquinhos, I think we're in for a pretty good chance at winning the draft here. So the first opponent has gone for the 3-5-2 formation. I said at the start of the video, pick a good formation that is both good offensively and defensively. And I'm sorry, but 3 at the back, unless you're a top tier player, there are going to be holes in your defense unless you've got all the right chem styles and custom tactics on. And for me, the first game here, it was goals galore. There was plenty on offer, and it's always fun to play in the draft against opponents who've set themselves up this way. And I think I go on to score 6 in this one. Son and Dalglish up front, both with 5-star weak foots. That is a treat to behold, and I had an absolute joy playing with both of these cards. Son is definitely growing on me. I've used him a few times this year, and as the game progresses and more high-statted cards come out, he really starts to shine. So first game in the books, and we ended up with a 6-0 win there. And we press on to our next opponent, Mitch FC, who's got closer in there at centre forward. I don't really rate that card. He doesn't quite have the right dribbling stats at halftime. 3 shots to me, more possession, more passing stats. And it was one of those games where I thought, as soon as this guy gets one chance, he's going to score. And yes, first shot, he puts it into the back of the net to make it 1-0 to him. And I was a little bit frustrated at this point. But if you're new to the series, you may not know. But if you've been around for a while, you know that when we need to clutch up in this series, we clutch up, and I have gone ahead and done that. Dalglish zooming through, using that 5-star weak foot, and we make it 1-1 in the 60th, and it is still on. The dream is still alive. Can we make it 3 draft wins in a row from 3? Look at that, bang. Actually, he may be right-footed, I'm not too sure, but hey, with 5-star weak foot, it doesn't matter. We find Dalglish again. This time it is with his right foot. We go across the keeper. The keeper falls to the ground holding his face, and that is 2-1. And we press on to the third game against this 4-3-1-2. And this one is a far better formation. He's got all the right players in the right areas. This one probably will be a little bit more of a tricky match. And as the game starts, you see this, the back setting there of the pro player, and you think, does this guy play a pro or watch a bit of pro games? And at halftime, I had 8 shots, 5 on target to his none. And I had that feeling again, like as soon as this bloke gets 1 shot on target, he's probably going to put it away, and Neymar gets one in the 80th. So it is on again to try and make the comeback. I made a little bit of a tweak to my custom tactics to press after possession loss. He was playing heavy drop-back football, so I thought I'd play a bit of drop-back myself and catch him on the counter. And unfortunately, in doing that, I lost my head a bit here, playing far too rushy and with opponents as decent as this fellow was. And a credit to him for not over-celebrating there. And I do end up bringing one back, but it was too little too late in the 91st minute. And we were pretty patient, found the gap in the box, and finished with Modric. And that's 2-1. And we go out in the second round. So we don't make it 3 from 3. And we only get a jumbo gold pack and a premium gold pack back. So I'm a little bit disappointed. And there's about, I think this is 22.5k back from 15 grand. However, the fact that we haven't had to use contracts, that we can pretty much sell on anything. If you actually take the time to engage with the market and sell on what you've done, you will, in 9 times out of 10, at least make your 15k back. But in most cases, you'll end up packing something pretty decent. Unfortunately, from the more expensive of the two, we get 82, 81, a few 75s, and a few consumables. If you look at this across the board, I would say this would probably be about 7.5k to 8k back if you were to take the time to sell on all the player contracts and any duplicates. The position modifier, I don't think that one goes for a lot, nor does the architect either. This one's probably like 300 coins, 350 coins. Yeah, it's a pretty low one, but nonetheless, this whole pack would be around about 7 to 8k in total. And so as long as from the next one, we get a similar amount, you've at least made your money back. And the draft is a fun game mode too, but genuinely, you do get better packs than this. These are probably some of the worst packs that you can get from the draft. So fingers crossed the premium gold pack here that we can get something a little bit better, maybe some boards this time, or maybe even a walkout. And it looks like we are going to get boards or a walkout, which is always great to see. And that's a strong flare. Is this an inform? Right back, Spaniard, Carvajal, 86 rated, get in, team of the week. You love to see that. And we got a wealth of right backs now between Cuadrado and Walker and Carvajal. Plenty of top tier first owner right backs. Of course, we've got Roberto Carlos in at left back, so probably don't need another left back. He's going to be there for quite some time. But I will take that. Welcome to the club. 140k. What is that going to go for? Like 60? 63 on bid? 66? I'm not sure if he'll go up or down. He'd probably be progressively he'll lose value, I think. But 86 rated, I will happily take that. Welcome to the club. And I told you, you can make good money out of the draft. The packs genuinely do pay out. And that was some of the worst packs that you can get back as well. So pretty chuffed with that. We'll go and pop him into our squad. This is what the squad is looking like at present. We've got 100 chem side, 86 rated. All first owner, of course. But we could definitely bring Carvajal in. We'll bring him into right back and try and link him in with like Munayin. And that should then get him onto chem. I'm not going to bore you with that. We'll hold the episode there for today. Thank you for stopping by, as always, for tuning in. Please hit the like button if you would like to continue to help us grow. Share it with a mate, that sort of thing, and subscribe if you're new. Until next time, take care. See you soon. Bye.